Good day, folks. It has been 1 month since I've had my Tesla Model 3. I've done about 2,000 miles, and I'm about to give you a quick rundown on my experience and review the 1 month I've had this car. So, like I said, 2,000 miles. What does that mean? Well, let's compare it to my previous car, the Nissan Maxima. 2,000 miles, if I do the math, that's gonna be about $500 worth of gas, because that thing was a gas guzzler and I used premium fuel. So $500 in gas if I were to do those 2,000 miles in the Maxima. And here in the Model 3, I've paid $200 for charging, and this is all supercharging, by the way. I don't have home charging, which would be even cheaper. If I did, I'd be like set for, like, I don't know, paying off this car in probably 3 years, but I don't have that. So $200 supercharging, not as low as I expected, but it's still much better than the Maxima. Now I'm trying to lobby my workplace to install like EV charging at the parking garage. Don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but time will tell. The fuel efficiency, it is unbelievably efficient compared to gas cars. Now I'll show you right here real quick. So you see that I'm doing about 203 watt hours per mile. This car is rated for 220, so I'm actually doing slightly better than what the car is rated to do. So that's pretty nice. One thing that I have noticed about this car, the suspension. Teslas have been known to have shitty suspensions before, and this car is no different. Especially on very particular stretches of freeway, the suspension is pretty rough, and I feel every single imperfection in the road surface. Now, this not all roads can do that, so the suspension works fine most of the times, but on these stretches of these freeways, I feel miserable. The bumping up and down and the rattling, it's terrible. So Tesla still has ways to go when it comes to their suspensions. The third thing I'd like to talk about is the Sentry Mode. It drains battery like you will not believe. It is extremely power intensive, especially if people walk by. I've parked at my workplace for about 7 hours, and people walking back and forth, constantly engaging the recording. That drained 20 miles of range. Just that one day, those 7 hours, the Sentry Mode drained 20 miles of range, and that is very much disappointing. I don't know why it's so heavy, but that's just the way it is, I guess. I mean, how many cameras? There's 2 there, 1 in front and 1 in the back. It only uses 4 to 8 cameras for Sentry Mode. I don't know why it uses so much battery, but I don't know. It could be temperature. Who knows? My driving experience so far, it's actually pretty nice. Very smooth most of the time, except for those freeway stretches. I've learned to optimize range. When going uphill, I accelerate as I would normally. And when I go downhill, I try to keep my speeds lower to give as much, to recoup as much energy as I could to the battery, as opposed to using it to continually accelerate as I go downhill, as you generally do in a regular car. So I maintain a lower speed, and I notice I recoup a huge amount of battery doing that. For one of my drives, I was going from the Studio City area, I went up to Mulholland Drive, and then I started going downhill all the way towards the 405, and then downhill on the 405 again. And I actually regened about 7 miles of range from when I actually first got to Mulholland Drive. So that was pretty neat. The regen. If you actually regen too much, the motor heats up to the point where it will actually reduce the amount of regen that you'd need, that it does. So it actually gives you a little warning on the screen here, and it says that it's limiting the amount of regenerative braking. I've never seen that. I've never expected that, but it kind of makes sense because regen would generate heat, and the heat would, potentially do damage if it's not controlled. So, yeah. So that is my quick 1 month review of my vehicle so far, the Tesla Model 3 standard range. Disappointed by the suspension, but totally wowed by everything else. This is an amazing car. It is currently by far the most efficient EV on the road today. Next year is going to change with Aptera, but that's a whole nother thing. Maybe I'll get one of those someday if I pay off this completely. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah. So I hope you liked this video. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. I put out random videos on just about everything, and right now I'm adding Tesla videos to the mix. So talk to you guys next time. See ya.